Mel too. There, everybody's here.
Good.
Okay, good deal. I want to welcome everybody tonight. It's 7:05. I apologize. We're going to start just a minute or two late. Before we start, I want to remind everybody, our convention hotel is filling up fairly fast. We have on peak room night now 254 rooms reserved on peak night. Well over 240 registered delegates already. Remind everybody, May 1st is the early bird cutoff. So we're looking really good. Reservations always seem to go first, the hotels, then folks register the last day, May 1st. So I want to encourage everybody. We should have a wonderful time in Atlanta. I know I've got both my shots. I think we're getting the shots out there. So hopefully we're all going to be safe and sound and have a great convention. At this time, I'd like President Mark to say a few words, and then we'll get the show going here tonight.
Benny, I'm only showing myself and you on my screen, and over to the right it says click open Zoom meetings and launch meeting. Do I need to do anything?
No, we see you fine there, Mel, so it'll probably work out for everybody else just fine.
Yeah, we see you good. Good.
Thank you.
Okay, you look good. All right, President Mark.
Thank you, and I appreciate everyone's interest in the election and being here today. If your name shows up on your picture with the wrong name, you can put your arrow over the top right-hand corner of just your little picture and click on the blue box and click on rename and put your correct name in there. In case you ask a question, we'll know it's you. It would be great if everybody did that so we can get rid of some of the Dana Thomases in the room and keep the real one. And we're so glad you're here. The election process is so important for our organization, and your interest in being here tonight shows that you want to make the best decision possible. So we're looking forward to that. I will also remind you, this is the time for your clubs to be doing your club officer elections again. The club officer elect report is due on May 20th. And it is important for your club to change leadership every year to keep your club fresh, even if you have a great leadership right now. It's always good to keep. So with that, I'll turn it back to our moderator for the evening, Ellerbe, who now has my name. So I guess you're not president.
I just wanted to see if I could do it. So I could do it. So
well, at least you spelled it right.
I did. So really quick, I'm ready to we're going to do a little different format than last week, but just minutely. Again, I'm a Southern boy, so ladies always go first. And then Melvin and Bob, I drew hats. Melvin, you will go second, and Bob, you will go third. When we get to the question and answer round, each of you will have about 8 to 10 minutes to make a presentation. We'll do 3 in a row. Then when we do the questions, we're going to change the format just a little. We'll ask a question. Sandy will go first. Melvin, the same question. Melvin will go second. And then Bob will go third. The next question, Melvin will go first. Bob will go second. And Sandy will go last. And then the third question, Bob will go first, followed by Sandy, followed by Melvin. So we're going to try to make it a tad more fair. And so we'll do it in order. That way you can hear the answers of all 3 candidates at the same time. So with that, I would like to welcome Sandy Larabee to the podium. Sandy joined Optimist in 1993, I believe. She's been a distinguished governor. She's been a vice president. She's been on almost every committee that I can recall in the last 15 years that I've had the pleasure of working with her. And currently she is a member of the board of directors of Optimist International. So from Ontario, please welcome Sandy Larabee.
Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us this evening to be able to exercise your privilege of casting an informed vote for the individual who will ultimately lead Optimist International in the 22-23 Optimist year. I hope that my past history, my present involvement, and my vision for our future will ensure that your checkmark on the ballot will be beside my name. My past. I firmly believe that our innate desire to help others begins in our upbringing and possibly our opportunity of having been the recipient of service club projects such as Optimist International clubs provide. I left home for college knowing my purpose was to serve and chose social services as my field of study. In my early career, I had the opportunity to work with emotionally disturbed children, in correctional services with 8 to 12-year-old juvenile delinquents, and yes, they were juvenile delinquents, in correctional services with 12 to 16-year-old incarcerated teens in a maximum security setting, and then with young adult men up to the age of 24 who are working to upgrade their education while serving out their prison terms. It was while working in the field of corrections that I met my husband, Ron. But no, he wasn't an inmate. He was the recreation director. So we celebrate 45 years of marriage this summer with our 3 children and 12 grandchildren. I was an attendance counselor, and yes, that is the truant officer for some of you who might have come in contact with him, but for 2 boards of education in Northern Ontario, and also was appointed as a Justice of the Peace by the Ontario government, but unfortunately had to decline as my husband's career took our family to Southwestern Ontario. We've lived here in Essex for the past 29 years, and when we were asked to join an Optimist club almost the day we moved in, we knew that we had immediately found our volunteering home in the Optimist organization. Being an Optimist in our new community, I was able to network, and thanks to a few dedicated Optimists who believed in me and offered me the opportunity to reopen a closed teen center, I embraced their vision, had a new center designed, built, created a full board of directors, hired over 200 staff over the years, and have now been the executive director for the last 23 years and counting. And I continue to serve even though I'm now retired. You just can't give that kind of thing up. Essex Youth Center is a valuable resource center for teen youth in our community. But this position has provided me with an opportunity to work with municipal, provincial, and federal government, creating a formal network of youth centers in the local area, and then being elected to the National Youth Centers of Canada Board of Directors, and shaping the opportunities for all youth in every province and territory in Canada. But having a job is not enough to fulfill that innate desire to make a difference. Since 1993, through Optimism, I've had the privilege to serve in so many capacities, from Distinguished President in 1997, Distinguished Governor in 2003, Vice President in 2008 and 9, to being elected by you to serve as a director on the International Board of Directors for the past 3 years. My resume speaks to my unwavering commitment to optimism. So why me? I have dedicated 29 years of optimism following the important slogan of leadership by example. I've sponsored 206 members, and when I was told that I had to build a club to become a distinguished president back in 1997, well, they told me I had to, so I did, and the Kingsville still survives today. And the following year, they move you into a lieutenant governor position, so I also was told I had to form a club to be distinguished, and that's where the new club building bug really got to me. I've had the privilege to be a builder of excellence 38 times and assisted in probably at least 35 more clubs. But more importantly, have been able to travel and help many more clubs across North America in new club building training and sharing new ideas for engaging more types of clubs by thinking outside the box. Completing the Level 10 Personal Growth and Involvement course in 2004, and I would highly recommend that to anyone who hasn't gone through this program, has helped me to grow as an optimist and develop confidence to share my optimism. Having been invited by Optimist International presidents to serve at the international level every year since 2004 has given me the opportunity to serve on almost all international committees, either as a chair or a committee member. These include candidate qualifications, junior golf, activities, new club building, ad hoc strategic growth, Youth Programs Foundation chair this year, the current chair of the ad hoc Canadian Pilot Project Transition Committee, and serving as a certified international trainer, a certified club builder, and a field representative for many years. As I complete my 3rd year as a member of the International Board of Directors, I believe that I have gained valuable knowledge of and welcome the significant changes and challenges our organization is facing as we go into 22 and beyond. How we face these milestones, and as much as these changes bring challenges, we must face them head on. As the current chair of the Ad Hoc Canadian Pilot Project Transition Committee, formed thanks to the recommendation of the RUSA Committee, which looked at the review of OI structure and organization, I am blessed to have 11 individuals from throughout the organization who are dedicated to this pilot project focused on the St. Lawrence region, which has the potential to set the future structural opportunities for our organization as we grow. So what specific things will I work on as an Optimist International president for the good of the organization? I have 3. Strategies for achieving diversity and inclusiveness in our membership are critical to the success and longevity of Optimist International. We need to recognize that our members reflect diversity in ethnic and community backgrounds, age, disabilities, careers, and other areas of inclusiveness. The Childhood Health and Wellness Program has boundless opportunities to meet this mission. The future of Optimist International depends on our ability to reflect the world we live in now. I believe it is time to face this challenge with optimism. Secondly, communication is also critical to the success of any organization. I will work with others to bridge the gaps of communication and trust, not only from the club through to the Optimist International Board of Directors, but more importantly, between all the levels in between, including clubs, zones, districts, international committees, and vice presidents. I intend to lead by facilitating conversation between team members and our membership and utilizing all their strengths and ideas to achieve a stronger result. And yes, growth is important. Growth through collaboration and partnerships with other youth-serving organizations has the potential to bring financial stability and a pipeline of fresh and creative professionals seeking membership, thus expanding the influence we have in our community. I'm excited to showcase more non-traditional clubs that will give us opportunities for growth, engaging youth and bringing other community organizations under the umbrella of optimism. So thinking outside the box, sometimes ignoring the naysayers and accepting the challenge has always been part of my life. And as some of you know, I was a skydiver. One of my most heartwarming achievements in the ongoing growth of special need clubs. From the first one I was privileged to create in Conway, Arkansas in 2010 under President Mark Shriver, and it is still going. We are now on the cusp of making this a permanent class of clubs, serving a population that brings much joy, support, and unity to those who support them in their home community. Our clubs are the backbone of this organization, and we must recognize this is our future. This pandemic has provided us with an opportunity for all optimists in every club to reimagine who we are and what we do to make our organization relevant for the future. Our focus must be on fulfilling our personal why, what we want our impact to be, who our people are out there so we can maximize our resources for success, evaluating our financial status, and more importantly, sharing those realities for positive strategic planning and ensuring that we collaborate with the communities we serve for greater ongoing positive impact. Reimagining will not be easy, but it is an opportunity to fulfill our mission statement by providing hope and positive vision. Optimists bring out the best in our youth, our communities, and ourselves. So why should a club vote for me? My passion and continuous, unwavering dedication to this organization. My history and knowledge of Optimist International through leadership roles I've completed, and having a strong insight into the current status of our organization as I finish my 3rd year as an International Board of Directors member, and a willingness to think outside the box, expand our opportunities for growth and new partnership with other youth-serving organizations. I welcome your questions, and I would appreciate your vote for Sandy Larabee for the position of President-elect, so together we can ensure our future. Thank you.
Betty, you're on mute.
Okay, apologize about that. I thought I was doing good. So at this time, this young man joined office in 1978. He's been a governor 3 times. He's been a vice president, He's been on most every committee of the organization and most recently served as Optimist International Foundation president. Please welcome from South Carolina, Melvin Bannister.
Well, thank you, Bandy. That's maybe not the best introduction I've ever had, but it's certainly the last. And I appreciate that. I have not prepared a speech for this because I wanted to speak from the heart. And by doing so, I want to, and as Ben mentioned, I joined the Optimist organization in 1978 when a friend of mine asked me to visit the Downtown Optimist Club in Columbia, South Carolina. And I visited, enjoyed it, and he asked me to join. I've certainly joined and been a member since 1978, and I've grown so much and had so much fun during this 40 plus years that you could not keep me out of the organization today. And as Benny mentioned, I have served as governor 3 times. The first time, we were distinguished every other year, and I happened to be in the every other year when we weren't distinguished. The second time I was governor, and we were in positive growth, but the requirements for being distinguished were a little bit stronger then than they are now. And so we lacked building one club for being distinguished that year. And the last time I was a governor of a distinguished district under President J.C. St. Ange. I was vice president under President Mark Shriver of the Southeast region. And I will say that in the Southeast region, we had 3 distinguished governors. We also, the Southeast region, had the most new clubs organized and the most honor clubs throughout the organization. And our current president, Mark Weinsoff, was the vice president who was #1 in membership. And I congratulated Mark then, and I do again now. So what makes me the best candidate for president-elect of Optimist International? First of all, by my training, I've been a trial lawyer since 1975, having graduated from the University of South Carolina Law School in May of 1975. I have learned to communicate both orally and in writing, and have had a successful law practice due to that. The communication is going to be very important during the next few years. And although Zoom meetings are great, I have found that the best way to communicate is one-on-one. And the next best probably is the telephone. You know, I don't like to text a whole lot. I will do it. I will use the email to communicate, but the best way is to talk directly with you. And I will continue to do that. And the next most important thing, I believe, is growth. Not only growth in our members, number of members in Optimist International, which will solve a whole lot of our financial problems if we have growth in membership. And I am sure that we will during my leadership of the board of directors, the vice presidents, board members, and committee chairs. We will have communication on a regular basis, going down to the governors, who will then pass it along to each and every club president. And I will have communication with the governors on a regular basis. Now, with growth, I said it's not only in our number of members, but also in growth in the service that we are providing for the children. Some of our clubs have grown a little bit stale in their club projects. We need to revive those projects, and so that more children can be served. Instead of having one member serve 30, I think we could end up serving 40, 50 children per member per year. And so that's very important to me, that we get more active in service for our children. And along the same lines, because we're going to be doing that, we are going to be growing ourselves. And as I've said before, I have grown so much in these past 40 plus years as an optimist that you could not kick me out of the organization. And I want to bring my leadership skills to this great organization to make it even greater than it is. And we can do that in many different ways. Like I say, I'm 71 years old, but I am willing to learn and have learned a lot. As an example, I'm a member of a virtual club. I know we have a few of those around, but not a lot. One way that we can increase our membership, especially with the younger generations, would be through virtual clubs. I've been told that our younger members don't like to participate in meetings. They want to volunteer. Well, with virtual clubs, we will be able to provide ways for all of our members to volunteer, which is what we want. We want to increase fun in the organization, not only at the international level, but district level, even down to the club level. We want to increase the fun that we're having. And the best way to do that is increase participation by our club members in projects. And the reason that why we do this is very simple. The smiles, the hugs, the thanks that we get from the kids. And that's what I've been doing for the more than 40 years. Some of the things that you may not know about me that I may need to speak about briefly is that I'm a big Elvis fan. And in 1968, I watched what is called the Comeback Special, Elvis. And the last song that he sang on that program was If I Can Dream. And as Sandy said, we want to make our organization more inclusive. Elvis sang that if I can dream of a better land where all my brothers walk hand in hand, then why, oh why, can't I make my dreams come true? So that is going to be my theme from now, and it has been for many years, that we are making dreams come true, especially for the kids, to a great extent for ourselves and our communities. And the next most favorite song of Elvis that I want to end my year as president with is Memories. I want to have so many great memories of all of my friends participating with me in making the Optimist International organization better than it has been and the best that it ever will be. Thank you.
Thank you, Melvin. All right, the last young man that will speak tonight joined us since 1994. He has served as a governor, vice president, has served on numerous committees, I've had the pleasure of working with him as chair of audit and finance, I think on 3 occasions. So from Ontario, please welcome Bob Mcfadden.
Thank you very much, Benny. I just really want to thank you for setting up this event and providing the opportunity to our club presidents and members to get to know their Optimist International president-elect candidates. It is important for club presidents to become familiar with the candidates running for senior leadership positions and their qualifications so that those voting can make an informed decision. Club presidents, your vote will have an impact on the direction our organization takes in the future. Good evening, fellow optimists. My name is Bob Mcfadden, and I am the Candidate Qualification Committee's nominee for President-elect of Optimists International. I'd like to begin by telling you why I want to be President of Optimists International. First of all, I love this organization. I love what we stand for. I love our leaders and members' big hearts and their passion for the work we do. I love the breadth and diversity of our clubs and membership and their willingness to welcome people of all backgrounds and ages. I love the way we strive to be a force of positive change and the fact that we bring out the best in the children, our communities, and ourselves. I want to see our organization thrive, and I have a plan I believe will make a difference. I will be an agent of change for our organization, and given the opportunity to lead, I will focus on growing and strengthening our clubs and our organization. I will strive to increase the value of being an Optimist member. I believe in 3 things that I think will help explain where I'm coming from. Number 1, I believe every child deserves the opportunity to grow up in an environment where their well-being is looked after and they can fulfill their dreams. Optimists help create such an environment when parents are not able to do so. Number 2, I believe most adults deserve the opportunity to be an optimist, to experience the enjoyment, satisfaction, and pride of making a difference in the life of a child, helping to make their community a better place to live, while being able to enrich their own lives in the process. And number 3, I believe optimists make a difference in the lives of children, and the children need us more today than they have ever needed us in the past. And it is critical we grow our organization so that we are able to serve more children today and to ensure we are here to serve the children in our communities for decades to come. What do I bring to the president-elect role? 40 years with a large financial institution, managing departments and budgets, and leading staff. I had over 300 staff in 4 different cities reporting to me when I retired. 27 years as an optimist, with 10 years on international committees. I have excelled at all leadership positions in the Optimist organization. I was president of a distinguished club, lieutenant governor of a distinguished zone, governor of a distinguished and outstanding district, and the vice president of the #1 region in Optimist International with 4 distinguished districts and 1 honor district. I have participated on 3 international ad hoc committees. The RUSA committee, which is the review of Optimist structure and administration. The investment committee to review the structure of investing and protecting our organization's surplus funds. And the current executive search committee looking to hire our new executive to replace Benny, who is retiring in September. I have also attended 3 years of board meetings, including executive sessions, as chair of the Audit and Finance Committee. I have an action plan ready to implement. If elected, my focus will be on 1, addressing the gap between Optimist International and our members and clubs. I will develop regular communication with all of our members. Number 2, enhancing the training for club leadership, especially club presidents. We have the technology to provide more assistance to our clubs, to help address their needs and to help strengthen them. Number 3, I will address the loss of revenue within our organization due to the loss of membership. 95% of our revenue is from member dues. We have experienced 30 years of declining membership and a 10% loss in membership last year alone. Number 4, focus on strengthening our club's mission through growth and addressing their club needs. I will be looking at engaging all members and offering mentoring and support programs for the clubs. Number 5, I want to promote optimism as a philosophy of life. We are coming out of a worldwide pandemic, and with all of the social and political unrest, everybody is looking for something positive, for some comfort. We have optimism to offer. We can make a difference in people's lives. And number 6, I will have a focus group of young leaders to determine what changes our organization needs to implement to be more attractive to younger members and to get our young leaders more involved in our organization. My plan is focused around communication and growth through the engagement of our members and our clubs. I believe in order to truly have a plan to change the direction of our membership, we need to engage all of our members, not just rely on the 3 to 5% that attend district events. People still want to volunteer and helping the most vulnerable in our communities. Our future leaders is something many people, but they have to be asked. And for some reason, our members have become reluctant in sharing their enjoyment, satisfaction, and pride with others and asking their friends to participate in the enjoyment of being an optimist. I think we can and must do a better job at serving the children in our communities. We have the technology and tools to work directly with our members and clubs, as opposed to we're still relying on our districts to be the conduit of information going to our clubs. I have the passion, the knowledge, the experience, and the leadership skills to lead our organization. And I have an action plan ready to implement to address our challenges. I hope I can rely on your support to vote for me, Bob Mcfadden, the Candidate Qualification Committee's nominee for President-elect. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, Bob, and thank you, Melvin, and thank you, Sandy. Well, good presentations from all 3. Okay, so this is going to be the question and answer round. We're going to go, you guys got to help me get straight because we're going to do Sandy, Melvin, Bob, Sandy, and so forth. So try to make it good. Okay, so here's the question, and try to keep your answers to about a minute each, because we're on the clock tonight. We want to get as many questions in as we can. So being the president of Optimists International takes a lot of effort, time, dedication, and sacrifice. With that in mind, Sandy, why do you want to be president at this time? And I'll unmute now.
Thanks, Benny. Well, that's an interesting question because I've been asked that before. I just believe that this is the time where we need to make the changes, and we need to be not afraid to make the changes in how we serve our members and how we build our clubs, how we engage our members, how we bring clubs under our umbrella so that we can continue to do service. And I think about things like not-for-profits who are struggling, particularly through this pandemic, and how if we can work with them, bring them under our umbrella, they will continue to be able to succeed. For me, as a candidate, I think that I bring that strength of communication and the ability to engage with people outside of our own organization. I've done a lot of that in the past with my job, and I think that is what has led to success in bringing other people under our umbrella. And so my skill at engagement and communication is paramount. And why do I want to do it? I'm ready I talked to my family. They're prepared to sacrifice. They know that this is, it wasn't necessarily a goal. I just think that this is what the organization needs right now. It's not about the title. It's about what I can bring to the organization. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. Melvin, the effort, the time, the dedication. Why do you want to be president at this time?
Well, I wanted to be president before, but that didn't work out. So I want to be president now so that my team will be able to help this organization grow, not only in members, not only in money to cover our expenses, but to grow for the service to the kids. That's the most important thing that I want to accomplish during my year as president, that we help more children. And a reward for that, as I've said a little bit earlier, it will be the smiles and the hugs and the thanks that we get from the children. That's why I want to be president elect. Thank you.
Bob, being president takes a lot of effort, time, and dedication. Why do you want to be president at this time?
Thank you, Benny. And to our friends in Quebec, bonsoir. I hope everybody's enjoying it. I'm not going to speak French because I'll just butcher it, and that will not come across very well. Why do I want to be president now? There are a number of reasons. Number one, I'm retired and I have the experience and knowledge, having sat on the Audit and Finance Committee for a number of years. Our organization is going through some significant changes and challenges at this time, particularly with the reorganization that we are experiencing with the St. Lawrence region, with the loss of the 10% in membership last year. It is creating a $300,000 loss in annual revenue that really needs to be addressed. And I have the financial background, et cetera, to do it. I was also selected by the Candidates Qualification Committee at this time. So obviously this would be a good time for me to run since they selected me. And I think that I am ready to lead the organization based on what I bring and the extensive knowledge that I have within our organization.
Thank you, Bob. Melvin, you'll start this round. Under your leadership as president, how will you bring value to the members' volunteer experience?
The value that the members will receive will be the thanks, the hugs, the smiles that the children will give to them, as well as other members. We all will be working together to make this organization the best that it can be. And I know that sounds like a catch-all phrase, but we want our organization to be the best that it can be. And I have plans already in place to make that happen.
Bob, same question. Under your leadership as president, how will you bring value to the members' volunteer experience?
Well, as you heard from my plan, one of the key things I want to do is I want to open up lines of communication between Optimist International and our members, directly with our members. I think Optimist International has lost touch with our membership, and the information flowing from Optimist International through the districts is not getting down to our members, since 95% of our members never attend a district meeting. So I will develop a value proposition with the benefits of being an optimist. We've talked about this for 10 years and nothing has ever come of it. I want to develop that, and I want to put that in the hands of every single optimist we have, so that they know that the value that they provide, the service for the children in their community, but they also are able to articulate why people should be an optimist, and they can attract more members because we give them the tools to do that. So I want to open up lines of communication. I will be there for every member and for every club, and I will work on enhancing whatever we need to do in our organization to provide more value and more strengthening to our clubs, because I think that we really need to help them out. We've kind of left them out there, and I think they need our help. So that's what I try and do.
Sandy, under your experience as president, how will you bring value to a member's volunteer experience?
Well, I think that communication definitely is the key, and that we've heard that from the other two candidates. But certainly, I think there's a serious gap in communication. And as I said in my speech earlier, what you hear at the board table is not what is being heard at the membership table. So enhancing those methods of communication to the people selecting our leaders, what is out there, what the potential is out there. I don't think we're not listening right now to the members as much as we should be. I see a potential pool of leaders that are going to create a strong base for us in this organization. And without getting down to the grassroots level and finding those leaders and then giving them the opportunity to hone their skills so that they can replace us for an ongoing organization, I think that value is just particularly recognizing them, giving them the opportunity to share their skill sets and their knowledge, and letting them run with it, because that's the most important thing. We have some amazing young professionals out there that if we could only engage them at a higher level, we would certainly be succeeding much more quickly than we currently are. So absolutely, we do need to give them more value. And I think we can do that. As president, that is one of my focuses. Thank you.
Thanks, Sandy. Bob, I'm going to take one from the chat line now. Discuss the relationship between Optimist International and the two foundations, CCOF and OIF. And what will you do as international president to support the foundations?
Okay, first of all, the relationship is almost like a symbiotic relationship. We are very dependent on each other. The foundation needs the organization for its members and clubs to provide the funds and make the donations, whereas the organization needs the foundations for charitable donations from sponsors, and obviously the support that the foundations give us with regard to the scholarships, grants, etc. So we have a very close relationship. I think one of the things that I have seen and experienced over the past number of years and just watching is, if anything, in our attempt to be separate organizations or separate entities, we've probably done more to push ourselves away from each other than become closer and embrace with each other. One of the positive things I think that has happened recently, of course, is adding the presidents of the foundations to the board, to the OI board. So at least they have an opportunity to hear what's going on and contribute at that level. But I think that I would work extremely closely with the foundations. I think there's a lot more that we can do as an organization together. Right now, our foundations get contributions from about 6% of our members. And I think we have got to work more closely together so that our members are giving, a higher percentage of our members are giving to our own charity. That way, we both benefit. So I would work very, very closely, and that's how I see it working.
Thank you, sir. Sandy, our discussion relationship between Optimist International and the two foundations, and what can you do as international president to support the foundations?
Thanks, Benny. The foundations are very critical. And as Bob said, we only have 6% of our membership that are currently supporting the foundation. I think we need to get the message out there to the membership. I've been in clubs where they actually don't even have any connection with the foundation, and they don't understand. They may hear that one line, oh, they pay for the scholarships or they pay for the some of the grants, but they don't understand the importance of that foundation. We need them just as much as they need us, and I think we have to work together. We have to get a message across. We also need to let our membership realize that if we did not have the foundations, we would not be able to provide the programs. Communication, everything, in my opinion, goes back to communication and getting the membership to realize who we are, why we exist, and the foundations are a critical partner in that, and we're dependent on them. So certainly it would be a focal point for any person stepping into this position.
Okay, thank you, Sandy. Melvin, as president, what would you do to support the foundations?
Well, as you are aware, I'm a past president of the Optimist International Foundation, and I have always felt that one organization will not exist without the other. So we have to pass that along to our members. If Optimist International could not exist without the support of the Optimist International Foundation. And I am planning on passing that along every chance I get in communication with the districts, with the governors, and I intend to make a presentation for the foundation at each meeting that I'm able to attend, either in person or virtually. Like I said, we got to increase our contributions to our foundation, not only with our members, but outside sources. We need to go to different foundations and secure grants, fellowships, whatever for the foundation, because it would only help Optimist International by doing so. Thank you.
Thank you, Melvin. Sandy, if you could change one thing, only one thing about Optimist International, what would it be?
Oh boy. I would say diversity and inclusion. And I understand that some people have a problem with that because it's such a broad topic. But I think we really need to just start to embrace the world and reflect in this organization the world that is out there, the real world that is out there. We're now currently expanding into countries all over the world. And as we do that, we have to really recognize that we're going to need to accept that diversity and inclusion. We still need a firm base of Optimist clubs in North America and South America potentially to have that base continue to work. But internationally, this is a huge potential for us, and I think that's the one thing: diversity and inclusion, and thinking outside the box on how we can move. That's basically what I would change. Thank you.
Melvin, if you could change only one thing about Optimist International, what would it be?
I think probably the most important thing to change is a way to communicate with the younger generations. And I say younger generations, like I say, I'm 70 years old. I want to be able to communicate with the 50-year-olds and the 30-year-olds and get them more involved. So we got to develop a plan to do that.
Thank you, Melvin. Bob, if you could change only one thing about Optimist International, what would it be?
Well, I guess if I could only change one thing, it would have to be opening lines of communication to all of our members, because I think that that's one of my key plans in my platform. And I think one of the places where right now we're lacking, because I think that we have lost contact with our members. So I think that if we opened up lines of communication with our members directly, that we would have all sorts of opportunities of engaging our members more and getting involved, and getting them more involved in the organization. In new members. So it'd be opening up lines of communication.
Okay. So next, Melvin. Melvin goes first this time. I'm going to take one from the chat line. Michigan Pam has a very good question. There's a lot of questions about membership here, and I have several questions on my chart as well. But our membership has been going down for a number of years. It's in the chat. How will you help the organization look forward to new membership growth, shifting the focus from what we've done in the past to what we need in these new and different times? And so, Melvin, I'll start with you.
All right. The first thing that we need to do is to increase the number of members that it takes to form a new club. On the governance committee this year, I made a motion to do that, and that motion has been passed along to the board of directors. We're still waiting to see what the board of directors will do along those lines. the next most important thing, once we get those members in, we got to retain them. And especially with new clubs, we don't want to build a club and then have it be out of existence in a year or 2 years. And during my year with President Jerry Henderson, I was on the club fitness committee, and we developed, mainly through me, the follow-through program for new clubs. We need to make sure that the follow-through program is carried out with all new clubs and to some extent with our existing clubs so that we will not continue to lose members.
Thank you, Melvin. Thank you, Melvin. And Bob, how will you help the organization look forward to new membership growth, shifting the focus from what we've done in the past to what we need in these new and different times?
I think what we've done in the past is we've relied very heavily on our districts and our incentive programs to motivate people to bring in members, and it's not working. So obviously, I want to communicate directly with every member in our organization on a regular basis. So my plan would be to engage all members in the recruiting process, but not just that, because, just asking people, they need help. So I would develop a value proposition with regard for the benefits of being an optimist that we could put in the hands of every optimist so that they understood and they could market the value of being an optimist to anybody they met. I would also help by marketing and promoting optimism as a philosophy of life. As I mentioned earlier, we're coming out of a worldwide pandemic. We're coming out of a period of time of social and political unrest, and people are really looking for something positive to hold on to. We can offer them optimism, and we can really attract people, I think, if we do it the right way and we market it the right way. The other thing I want to do is I want to send out and ask each of our clubs, the 20 and above and the 20 and below member clubs, and ask them if they would like to participate in a mentoring program so that I can link up small clubs with large clubs and have the larger clubs help the smaller clubs grow so that they grow above the 20 member portion. That mentoring program, I think, is very beneficial. And then lastly, one of the things I also mentioned earlier is I really want to get a focus group of young leaders, and I want to figure out what it is we need to do to change our organization, or what changes we need within our organization to attract more young members and to get our younger members more involved in the organization. So I have a number of steps to try and help that.
Thank you, Bob. Sandy, how will you help the organization look forward to new membership growth, shifting the focus on what we've done in the past to what we need in these new and different times?
We need to remove the boundaries that we have. We need to remove the expectations of how clubs operate in order to achieve their goal of serving their community. I think a perfect example is meetings. Young people don't have time for meetings. We have technology now, which is great, and maybe young people have more of an opportunity or far more comfortable than the senior population to do it. But they also have expectations in many clubs that expect their members to be there at every meeting. They want them at a 7 o'clock in the morning meeting. You're not going to get people to come to a 7 o'clock in the morning meeting. So I think we need to also take a look at change within the clubs that we have. A perfect example of that is a club that has a very set program and ideas, and then a young members come in and they have all of these great ideas and they really want to try them. We've tried the club within a club. Sometimes that works, but at the same time, there still is a sense of control. So I think we need to take away those boundaries and those barriers that exist within the club. So taking a serious look at that and making sure that everybody's comfortable with it, but moving forward so that they can continue to meet their own expectations and explore their own boundaries and achieve much more as two separate entities. So it has happened. It's happened several times that I have seen recently, and both of those clubs in both of those communities are doing much better. So we really have to remove that barrier.
Thank you, Sandy. We're getting close to the 8 o'clock hour, but I've got a couple more questions I would like to ask. So I hope everyone will stay with us for a few more questions. Bob, where do you see Optimist International in 5 years?
That all depends on what happens. Ideally, I would like to see Optimist International the decline in membership stopping and bottoming out and starting to move forward. But that all depends on whether or not we're willing to change, whether or not we're willing to do anything to attract more members, whether or not we're willing to do anything to go out and attract other associations to be with us. If we continue, like, I'll give you an example. 9 years ago when I think we were in Las Vegas, J.C. St. Onge and Ken Garner were on the podium saying we have to change, and we have 4 choices. The status quo, which means we're guaranteed death, or we change to a territorial, or we go to District 99, or we select something better from one of the members. Well, so far we've done nothing, and we continue to die. So if we continue to do nothing, 5 years from now, we will have fewer members than what we have today, and it will continue to slide. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to change. We have to implement new processes. We have to be willing to change, even if the change doesn't work, because you still learn from that aspect. But as long as we are willing to continue doing exactly what we're doing, nothing will change. So what's going to happen? It really depends on what happens with the leadership and where the leadership takes this organization. And that's very hard to say at this particular point.
Thanks, Bob. Sandy, where do you see Optimist International in 5 years?
Well, I'm an optimist. And I'd say we are listening to our members. 5 years from now, we're listening and we're engaging them. We are bringing our leadership base into focus so that we can replace ourselves and allow them to move forward. And we are widening our scope. 5 years from now, we're going to be a much larger international organization, and we will be working on our base to make sure that we can maintain that focus. I'm an optimist.
Melvin.
I agree with Sandy. In 5 years, we will be a better organization than we are today. In particular, next year with President Patsy, and the following year with me as president, we will continue to grow. I will work with Patsy this year. I will have my own team the following year, and we will continue to grow. So therefore, we will have more money to pay our expenses. We will have more members to do more projects for the kids. And so in 2 years, we'll be a much better organization than we are to now. And then the future presidents that will follow us will continue that growth. That's where we'll be in 5 years.
All right, thanks, Melvin. We did start tonight about 6 or 7 minutes late, so I'm going to go a few more questions here. I got one from the chat. So, Sandy, you would lead this one. What direction will you allow Joy youth and children to allow Optimists to serve the needs of youth?
Well, I am a big proponent of the Joy program. I think I've been working on that same issue for many, many years. I believe that we've sometimes set barriers again for Joy. We set them up, they do some amazing things in the community, and then we don't follow up with them. We've tried to do some transition programs, but I think it may be a really good idea for us to start setting them up into adult clubs and setting them up with mentors within the adult clubs. So again, a very strong mentoring program to bring them into focus with how we operate. And the potential is there. It's absolutely amazing. I will continue to work with the Joy clubs. They are our future. We say that all the time, and it seems to be sometimes that it's just overlooked but it is a growing movement, and it is a movement that we need to continue.
Thank you, Sandy. This is Melvin. Melvin, what direction will you take from Joy, youth and children, to allow Optimists to serve the needs of youth?
Well, I know that the children all involved in Joy desire to help their communities, and they're doing so with their club projects. We need those ideas that will come from the younger generation to help us grow forward and move forward in the organization. very important that we keep our young people involved. Along those lines, we need to get the input from all of the children that we serve, such as through the Optimist Oratorical Contest. Through my experience over the years, every child that has participated in the oratorical contest will tell you that they are better students because of that. And we need to take that into consideration. We need to get those younger people involved into our adult organization as they become adults.
Thank you, Melvin. Bob, same question. What direction can you take from Joy that will make us better serving our youth?
Well, I think one of the key things that we can take from them is the fact that the Joy organization is growing substantially better than the adult organization is growing. And we should be able to learn from that. We should be able to take some of the learnings that is happening within that organization and take them to our own board and saying, what are they doing that's successful? Because it's the same name. It's the same Optimist organization. The Joy organization is a phenomenal organization that teaches youth to volunteer, and the people in that organization will hopefully continue to volunteer for the rest of their lives. And with any luck, and hopefully, one of the things that we have tried in the past is we've at least developed a link between the college clubs and the adult clubs. We have to look at maybe developing a link between the Joy clubs and the college clubs, and then bringing that link back into the adult clubs. But we have lots that we can learn from the Joy organization. They're a phenomenal group, and I just wish that we were as successful as they were.
Thank you, Bob. All right, Melvin, this will be the last question for all three candidates, and I really appreciate them tonight being such gracious candidates. So, Melvin, starting with you, what do you believe Optimist International and its clubs offer to individuals that makes us different or special from our competitors?
What do they offer? They offer all of us the opportunity to grow as individuals. They offer us the opportunity to help others. That's why I've been a trial lawyer for 45 years plus. I enjoy helping people. That's why I've been an Optimist member for more than 40 years, because I enjoy helping the children. You take that away from me and I'm dead, and I don't want to die.
Bob, what do you believe Optimist International and its clubs offer to individuals that makes us different or special from our competitors?
Well, first of all, I think the thing that we offer is optimism. We offer a positive outlook on life. We offer the opportunity to make a difference in the life of a child. We offer the opportunity to make our communities a better place to live. We offer the opportunity for anybody to join our organization. We don't have any job requirements. We don't have any age requirements. We don't have any sex requirements. Anybody can join our organization. So I think that we offer a ton of opportunities that other organizations don't offer in the same way we do. Just the positive outlook, the optimism, the opportunity to change, make a difference in the life of a child, I think is so much more gratifying than some of the other organizations offer.
Thank you, sir. Sandy, why do you believe Optimist International and its clubs offer to individuals that makes us different or special from our competitors? You're on mute, Sandy. Still on mute. Okay, there you go.
All right. Well, I think we have the best message in the world. We have optimism and hope for a better tomorrow. And I think that is the message that the single most important message that we need to take forth as we continue to try and grow our organization. For young people, we have opportunities for leadership development as they develop their young careers. It's a fabulous way to do networking. And at the end of the day, For those who are active members in their clubs, it's social interaction, because human interaction is one of the most important things that we have in our lives. And if we have that, we will continue to work on our mission statement of bringing hope and positive vision. So optimism, hope for a better tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. All right, I want to thank all three candidates tonight. You guys were great. I want to remind everybody the elections will start on April the 29th. They'll run for 30 straight days. Any club that is not on the 120-day list is eligible to vote. Understanding that we have a pandemic this year, mail, billing, staffing, we've all had many issues on getting all the clubs posted properly in a timely manner. So any club that is not on the 120 list will be allowed to vote. And so get your votes in early and often, as we say in Louisiana. You've got three great candidates. So for 30 days, you have a chance. Don't wait till the last day, please. And I know all three candidates would welcome phone calls or emails to ask them more specific questions. I want to thank everybody in the chat that offered up so many good questions. I had a sheet of probably 40 questions that had been given to me one at a time, so I went through as many as I could. Some of the questions were answered in the comments that the three candidates made in their opening statements about their qualifications and the desire. So I want to thank everybody. And I just saw here, if candidates, a lot of the clubs have Zoom meetings. You might want to get yourself invited to some of the club Zoom meetings. So that would be neat as well. So everybody, thank you. April 29th, begin casting your votes and look forward to seeing the election results sometime on May the 2nd. Thank you, guys. Good night.
Good night.
That would be
Night all.
June 2nd. Thank you. Good night. And thank you
Thanks,
very much,
Benny.
Benny.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Melvin,